If let's say someone who's watching this, he's 17 or 18 years old right now, and he wants to become a cricketer in the future, what do you think you would advise him from a very early age of his career, that he should do these things right now so that he can at least have a dream of becoming a cricketer? Like, the question here is becoming a cricketer, whether it is a thing of luck, whether it is acquired by, let's say, the network that you have, or whether it is merit driven, that the more you practice, the easier are your chances.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely that last comment. The harder you practice, you're obviously going to improve. I don't think, that aspect of people saying, the element of fortune and luck. Of course, you need a little bit of fortune and luck, but I'm a big believer that you get lucky by working hard. So the harder you practice and the more you put into your practice in terms of specific skill sets required on that given day to improve, don't be surprised if you get a bit of fortune in the game, because you've earned the right to have a little bit of fortune. So it's very difficult to say to just one 17 or 15-year-old who's trying to have a vision of becoming a cricketer, because I don't think there's one thing that I could say. The one thing I will always say to young sports people is don't be completely driven by the end column, which is the number. Don't be so focused. Of course, the number is very important, but there's a way to get to that number. There's a way to score 100. It's, if you just want the 100, you're getting lost in terms of how to get to 100 first. So you have to start by taking your guard. So you have to be in the present moment taking your guard. You have to be in the present moment of facing your first ball. So you're on naught. And you have to get off the mark before you get 100. And you've got to try and break down. And it's hard when you're young because everyone wants the big kind of picture early. And I think you have to try and have a focus of the processes of what gets you to that big number, or what gets you to a 5-wicket haul, or what gets you to take a flying one-handed catch, what gets you to be in a state team, what gets you to be in a national team. And it's generally process driven. It's just the process of getting up every day, trying to understand what you're trying to achieve, trying to understand the skills that you're trying to improve upon, trying to understand that you're going to make mistakes. Making mistakes in life is normal. We all make mistakes every single day. And I think, particularly in this era, I think it's very hard for young people because everything's on social media. Everything is an opinion. More people can have an opinion on anybody these days than particularly in my time, where it was just a news article in a paper would be the opinion on me, or a TV show. Maybe I would get mentioned on a show. But now that the opinion is through social media. So I do feel for younger people more so now because it's harder. There's more people having an opinion on them on a given day before they've even done anything. So I think they can get probably misled in terms of the way that they're going about delivering their processes, because they could get taken offline, or they could get derailed, or their mind could get focused on a certain comment that affected them because they've seen it. I didn't have to deal with that. So the basic principle of anyone to achieve anything in any profession is process. If you're going to go and be someone in finance, what do you have to do? You have to go and get all your exams, pass your exams. If you're going to be in finance and make all the money that you want to make, you can't just make all the money first. You've got to go through the process of getting to that. And cricket's no different. You have to deliver the process. And every time that you go out to play, it's just a process-driven game. And the best players in the world have routines. They deliver their routines on a day-to-day basis, minute-to-minute basis. And that pretty much gets them to that success. It's a lot easier said than done. Because in life, there's so many different things now that can distract you. There's a lot of distraction. And this phone here is the biggest distraction for any young sports people, because there's just so much going on. There's so much communication in terms of different apps, different social platforms. And I think the phone and digital is the biggest distraction to a young sports person's life.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. And in fact, I'd like to share a story with you. So when I was giving my exams, mobile phone had become one of the biggest distractions for me. And you won't believe, I think, but I had switched off my mobile phone for 4.5 months just so that I can focus on my academics. And I had locked it in my dad's wardrobe and I had just focused on studies, and I turned my mobile on after 4.5 months after I gave my exam. So I agree with you, like mobile phones are like...
And he had success.
Yeah, I think so. I got an All India rank 5 in that exam.
But how hard was it? I mean, and when did you start getting? I'm on my phone because I deliver my socials, and all my emails are on there. I have to communicate back home and with many other people. But if I put that in a cupboard, after an hour I'd be like, I better go and just check it. So how long did it take you before you actually accepted that the phone had disappeared?
So that's a good one. I think that in the first 1 or 2 days, I got used to getting used to the fact that the mobile is not going to be there with me. And since I was just studying for my exams, I was 19, 20 at that point in time. So I did not have any work as such, in the sense I was not working at any company, or I was not working on my startup that time. So I switched off for like 2 days. I accepted the fact that I'm not going to turn it on. And then after 4.5 months, it was very, very difficult for the first 7 days, 10 days. But once you're used to it not being a part of your life, then I think it becomes a little easier. So like another example, if I can give you, last month I did Vipassana meditation, which is 10-day long meditation where you are not supposed to use mobile phone, no social media, no dinner, no talking to anyone, no eye contact with anyone, just meditate for 12 hours a day and 10 long days. So I did it last month, and that was also like another
no dinner
experience. No dinner. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The last meal is at 5 p.m.
Right. Okay.
There, yeah. So that helped me in order to avoid all the distractions.
And where did you do that?
So it is near Igatpuri, which is 3.5 hours from Mumbai. Okay. There are centers in Mumbai as well. There are a total of 250 centers across 6 continents.
Right.
So it's a study of Gautam Buddha, and he has taught that principles.
And there was other people there, or are you just on your own?
So there are people who teach us. They are called as AT, assistant teachers. But the main teaching is done by Guruji Satyanarayan Goenkaji, who is unfortunately no more, but his recordings are available. So that's a very...
And you feel good for it?
Yeah, absolutely. I recommend everyone to do it.
Really?
And you become a different version altogether, because 10 days you are not talking, no social media, no mobile. You become more calm, you become patient version of yourself. And I think you don't react to any situations in general.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you on the distraction front. If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.